things are subject to change, but if you do not have a strategy for change, your life is going to be the same. And so some of you will listen to this and get real excited, like, yeah, I still got 6 months. But if you don't have a strategy in place, everything is going to be the way that it's always been. And a lot of times we don't understand why our lives are spiraling. And our lives are spiraling because we don't have systems. We don't have the proper operational mechanisms in place for our lives to operate and to function the way that they're supposed to. Now, for somebody like me, a lot of people say I'm obsessive. A lot of people say it doesn't take all of that. A lot of people call me extreme. But like I said, when I look at the results of their lives, they don't live lives that I want to emulate. And so they have a lot of opinions, but they don't have results. And so you can call me extreme, you can call me obsessive, but I know what works and I know what's going to produce results and what's not. And it's easy to talk about what you're going to do, but most people aren't doing anything. And so you got to move from talking to action so that you can see certain things manifest and unfold in your life. In other words, you still have time to make improvements and to course correct your life. While I'm not giving you a pass to exempt yourself from accountability, I am saying that you must also give yourself some grace. So, I don't know about you all, but I know that because I have what I call very much a perfectionist complex, there is, I work on this very, very intentionally, but there can be this pull towards being so hard on yourself that you just stifle any type of progress or productivity in your life. Yes, you may have missed it in some areas. Yes, there's some things that you may need, excuse me, to do differently. But let's not camp out there because at the end of the day, I just told you the last 6 months we can't undo it. We can't change anything about it. It's done. And what you have to do is move forward in this present moment to change the direction of your life. And in order to do that, you got to give yourself some grace and you got to also hold yourself accountable so that you can make those adjustments and changes that you need to make in your life. Develop a plan and stick to the plan. A lot of you listening to me every year becomes a repeat of the year before because you don't have a plan. You wrote something down, or you have an idea of something in your mind of what you want this year to look like, but you have no plan for how that's going to happen. And I'm not going to go back there because I spent the first half of this year on this podcast giving you the strategy and the play by play of how to make that happen, breaking macro goals into micro goals and micro steps and intentions and strategy. I gave you all of that. So go back and listen again. But you have to get a clear plan, or your life is going to continue to follow this trajectory of frustration and failure. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. I know it sounds very cliche or whatever, but if you are not changing it, you're the catalyst for changing your life. And whatever you're not changing, you are conforming to, and that is what your life is going to become. I can't say there. Um, you may not be able to change the last 6 months. However, you do have the ability to change what happens over the next 6 months. So we can't turn back the hands of time. But what are you going to do with this 6 months? It's only July the 5th. So you still have time. I know a lot of people are still in holiday mode and they're probably going to be in holiday mode till Monday. I get it. But what are you doing to change the trajectory and the direction of your life? That's a question I want you to write about in your journal. Write that down. What am I doing to change the trajectory and the direction of my life? Because this is good. You'll listen to this, you'll feel good. But when this episode is over, what solid frameworks and plans do you have in place that's going to help you to stay on track so that you can live the life that you were created and destined to live? A lot of people in the world today are frustrated with their lives. Some people blame their background, others blame circumstances and conditions. Regardless of the reason, you have to understand that you are the catalyst to change in your life. So, I don't believe in the woe is me, the pity party, and the sad story. I'm the wrong person. So if you're coming to me with a sad story and woe is me, I don't want to hear it, because for every sad story, there's somebody in the world that has overcome incredible odds and achieved extraordinary results in their lives. And so, what's your excuse? Everybody has one. But I always tell people excuses will never bring you into the realm of excellence. And so, you can keep making excuses and you'll keep living an average and a mediocre life, or you can make the adjustments and you can distinguish yourself as one of the best in the world at what you do. But the choice is up to you. And so you're the catalyst for change. And if this 6 months is going to be different, you're going to have to be different. Some of you are going to have to change your relationship constellation. There are some people that you're not going to be able to connect with in this 6 months if you want to make more progress. Some of you, your destructive thought patterns and processes are the reason that you're not making progress. Some of you have an internal dialogue that does not support the reality that you want to create. Some of you have a negative attitude. Some of you have a corrupted or tainted perspective about your life. Some of you need to deal with some trauma, some deep seated hurt and wounds that keep coming up, stopping your progress and your ability to move forward with your life. Whatever those things are, we have to begin to confront them so that they don't become constraints to us embracing the change that we want to see in our lives. Write that down. You got to confront it so that it does not become a constraint to you seeing the change that you want to see in your life. Because anything that we are not dealing with, we are giving the permission and the power to define us. Write that down. Anything that we are not dealing with, we are giving the permission and the power to define us. And a lot of us, we say, I'm not a victim. I'm not going to be defined by this or that, but you are being defined by it because you are avoiding this thing. And the more you avoid it, the more you're giving that thing the power to define your life and to define ultimately what is possible for your life. You got to also understand that you cannot repeat negative habits and expect positive outcomes. So some of us got to do some deep internal work. Some of us got to do some psychological work. We got to renew our minds because our habits don't support the life that we want to create. Whether it's a weight loss goal and your diet is off, or whether it's productivity goal or something you wanted to do, you want to write a book or accomplish a certain thing this year, those kind of things. People say, how have you written all of these books? That doesn't just happen. It takes discipline to do that. How have I done a podcast for more than a decade before most people even knew what a podcast was? It takes discipline to do that. How do I create courses and uh, consult and advise these leaders in different capacities around the world? It takes discipline. And so, if you don't have the right habits in place, you're not going to get where you want to go in your life. And a lot of people, people get really grand with you. I had people tell me, like, I don't need any help, I got it. And I look, and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 10 years later, they're still in the same place because their ego won't let them admit that they need help. Your habits are not working. And you don't have the discipline within yourself to change it. So you need to get around somebody that's going to help you in that area. And a lot of us don't want to do that. And what we do not correct will cripple our lives. Let me just say that. Anything that we are not correcting has the power to cripple our lives. And there are a lot of people that are crippled because they won't even ask for the help that they need to make the changes that they want to see in their lives. You got to also understand, I don't want to sell you false hope or give you false expectation, but the reason that many people are frustrated and feeling stuck in their lives is because your habits don't honor your potential. Your habits do not honor your potential. What do you want to do? Everybody that knows me will tell you Jamel is obsessive and dogmatic about time. I don't like to waste time. I don't let people waste my time. I am very intentional and conscientious about 24 hours and what I do with it. And if you can't respect that, you're not going to be part of my life at all. I love you. I wish you the best, but you are not going to waste my time. I don't have time to waste with people that are going nowhere, that want nothing out of life, that want to keep living in the trenches of yesterday at the expense of their tomorrow. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to hear your sad story, to nurse your same wounds, to repeat your same patterns. patterns, if you're not going to get with the program and get moving,